Welcome to the System Simplified podcast, where we feature top leaders who share stories on how to successfully systemize a business. Now, let's get started with the show.
Klevit here, the host of the System Simplified podcast, where I feature top founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders about systematizing a business. And today's episode is being brought to you by Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures so businesses can grow and thrive. And today's guest is a recurring guest, Ian Garlic. Hi, Ian. Oh. Hi, Ian.
Adi, thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're very welcome. So this is your second podcast here on the System Simplified podcast, and I've been on yours twice as well. We had a great episode, the first one, and I'm going to include it in the show notes. But for our listeners that haven't listened to that yet, I'm going to read your bio. So you're the author of #1 bestseller, Video Testimonial That Land the Big Fish. Awesome book. I have it right here, and it is a great book. So our listeners definitely get it. So Video Testimonials That Land the Big Fish. And it's still relevant today like it was relevant when you wrote it, right?
Yes, well, most of it, yes. I've got a new chapter coming out on AI and how customer stories affect AI, but that's a whole nother chapter.
That's a different chapter, and I would be happy to talk about it here as well. And then you have over 500 episodes of the Garlic Marketing Show. And again, it's like, I think we started at the same time, or I also have 500 episode plus. So we are definitely, that's our hobby, is doing those podcasts. And it's fun because we get to have great conversations. You're founder of videocasestory.com, and that's what we did our previous podcast on. And you're the founder of StoryCruise.com. You host Giants of Video Summit, 15,000 YouTube video produced for law firms, healthcare to Fortune 50 over the past 15 years. 15,000. So it seems like you know something about YouTube videos here. Millions of dollars in revenue generated from YouTube. Over 2,000 case story interviews. 17 years creating YouTube strategies. Creator the YouTube Invisible Pipeline Strategy. So like Gino Wickman, the founder of EOS, said, Ian showed me the science behind videos that convert. So that is pretty incredible bio right there, Ian. So thank you and welcome back to our podcast here.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yes. So let's talk about YouTube strategies. How do you actually land business using YouTube?
Well, I think the biggest thing to remember with YouTube is it's YouTube because a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to have YouTube over here, and then I'm going to have my website over here, and I'm someone running Facebook ads, but it's an ecosystem, right? And we want to get people to YouTube because YouTube, we can get the time with our ideal clients. The biggest thing I say to that, though, is like, you need to understand the real problems of your biggest potential clients and show how you can solve those big problems and how you can get results. And that's why it starts with case stories, but then you also show how you do it, answer all of their buying questions on YouTube, and then they spend more time with you. Podcasts are great to be on YouTube to be discovered and to spend some time with you too. The more time someone spends with you, the more likely they're going to come through the door ready to buy. I'm sure you've had that where someone's listened to like 5 or 6, 7 of your podcasts and they're like, I'm ready to work with you, Adi.
Yeah, totally. And absolutely. So the question is, how do you know which topics to talk about? I mean, do you have an algorithm that you use? Do you use like keywords? How do you know, like, let's say I wanted to record a video on YouTube. What am I going to record it on? How do I decide?
Here's the secret is you listen to your clients and your customers. You really listen to them. And that's where we start with video case stories is You interview them, get to know what the real problems were, get to know what was going on beforehand, get to know what they were looking for, and really understand those big problems, what I call the seven-figure problems that they have, and what are the $100,000 questions. So for in your case, for example, what are the problems that what are the symptoms that of not having the right systems? And I think we talked about it on the podcast,
We
and
did
you,
actually, and I started doing it. I mean, you gave me the best. This is our listeners. Listen to this. So last time when I interviewed Ian, he said, Adi, start making a list of all the problems that your clients have. And immediately after that, and that was a few years ago, every time I would talk to a prospect, I would have my assistant after that review the interview and write the specific, I asked the same three questions every single time. And the answers, we figured out the answers. And that gave me such insight to what they need and why they are looking for those the answer, what they're looking, what can I help them solve? And that is solid advice. But Ian, we pronounce it Ian. So Ian, what do we we hear a lot about, okay, well, you need to use this tool or that tool in order to figure out what are the biggest searchable keywords on YouTube are, and then you create that particular video according to those words or this topic. Is that true?
Actually, it's really bad advice if you want to land big clients. And here's why. The more searches there are for a topic, that means there's more people that want the answer to that topic. Your big clients, your big prospects, they have very specific needs. So I always say, like, if you want to target the Fortune 50, right? By definition, you have 50 potential clients. And let's say you're targeting the whole C-suite, maybe there's 15 people in the C-suite. That's 750 people with very specific problems. Those people don't care how to log into Suite process, right? They don't care how to set it up. They have specific problems. It might be like, should I get a tool? Should I build an internal tool for my company? Should I, well, who's the best consultant? The bigger the client too, they want to know who's the best. They want to understand why you're the best. And so if we load our YouTube channel with things that a bunch of people want to see, like how do I self implement all my systems? Unless you're selling a course, you don't want that. You could, because you're optimizing for people that are DIYers, and you want to optimize for people that want to the best. And so that's a hard thing for people to get across, because the bigger the client too, they might watch, but they're not going to like, they're not going to comment, they're just going to watch and then show up one day. And so if we're optimizing for views, I know so many influencers that are broke who have millions of views, right? And then I have clients that have 86 subscribers and make $2 to $3 million a year off their YouTube channel. That's a
So,
decision
okay,
you want
so
to make.
let's take an example. Okay, so I followed your advice 2-3 years ago, and when I ask people, why do you want to document your processes and procedures? So one of the biggest answers is consistency, because lack of consistency. They have different people that are creating different, that are basically each one. Let's say you have 5 salespeople or 5 customer service, and each one of them have their own way of doing it. So that's one of the reasons why. So if you take that, what video should I make then?
Yeah, I mean, so I would step at one. This is where I would search for your case stories, right? And go, who was lacking consistency and what did that mean to them, right? If the salespeople aren't consistent, what is the symptom of that? It's like, oh, I had
Nice
5 different sales.
closes, we are missing leads, we are missing opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't analyze I can't analyze my salespeople because they're all working different ways.
That's a good one. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
train them. Yeah.
yeah, I can't. You know why you can't train your salespeople? Because it's inconsistent. And then how to develop, the starting point, how to develop a systemized sales training. And that's at a high level. I don't want you to do 2 hours on that, but you have to understand that. And then obviously case stories, like, this is where I think we talked about it, where, they were missing leads, and you talk about how much revenue was lost because of a lack of sales system, and then how much revenue is gained, how much profits gained, but also how they had clarity now, and what does that clarity look like and feel like. Those are all things you can talk about all day long. And then
Right.
yeah. And
But what do we do? I mean, what is your advice in terms of the strategy of how to make sure that the right person actually searches this and finds us? So what is the most important thing in a YouTube video? So let's say we decided this is how to, I guess let's just do an example so our listeners can see it. So let's take this area of consistency. So what would you call that video? I guess like how to achieve consistency in your salespeople sell every single time, or like something like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I would, start with the story of success, because this is where a lot of people want to get cold traffic, but your opportunity right now is the YouTube and all the traffic you're already getting, because you have a lot of people that are Googling your name. Can I share my screen actually?
Oh
Is that
yeah,
all
of
right?
course.
Yeah. So I
So
want
if
to show
you're
you.
listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I mean, you can also look at it on YouTube because this is going to be on YouTube. But this is Ian is going to show us here the
You can call me Ian. I'm fine
secrets.
with that.
That's okay.
So Adi, this is like when someone searches, so many people forget that, yes, they're going to go to your website, but the second someone sees your name, they pick you up on a podcast, you're on the Garlic Marketing Show, they're going to look up, right, who you are. And so you actually have a really good, right, overview of you. But the one thing I would definitely have is optimize your videos, because that's great. You're on the podcast. And if you're on a YouTube podcast, I've got some strategies around linking back. So you make sure you link back your YouTube video to your YouTube videos from another podcast, but you've got your YouTube channel up here. But what I want to see right away is, if that consistency is a big thing for one of your clients, I want to see, manufacturer and has consistent sales process and leads to $15 million in sales in the next year, right? YouTube video. I'm going to click on that video and how that works. And I would want to have, this is what I call the fish in the barrel strategy. And so we've got about 30 different places that you can start that people are looking for you. And what this does too is actually feeds AI that you are the expert in that story. So if someone's like, this is where AI starts going. If someone's asking about consistency and like, how do I build consistent sales systems for my manufacturing company? They're asking AI that, and eventually they will come to you and your videos will show up over and over and over again. So having those YouTube videos there, and I'm going to tell you in the end why this is so important. Also on your LinkedIn page, results, right? Problem results. You can feature your YouTube videos of problem and results. That's the big thing. It's like that's my problem. I have a sales team that's not reporting to me correctly, that I have no idea if those numbers are real. And we're just using that one example, and you could probably have
I mean, if you go there, we do have, like, if you click on that, if you click on not on the articles, but on the featured part, like the actual featured, the whole featured, if you see it.
Where's that?
It's where you see the articles there. You scroll down.
Scroll down.
Featured.
Oh,
okay, just click on the arrow so you can see it all.
yeah.
At the bottom, we used to have, so we have now the articles, but if you scroll down.
Yeah, so this is a little tough to get to, right?
Yeah, exactly. But at the bottom, it is supposed to be like right here, there are testimonials, right? So right here.
Yeah. And so this is where I would make sure you have it titled properly. What type of business, what is Golden Box and what was his problem and what was his result, and have that featured, because they're going to skim your LinkedIn page. And then this is just two of the spots. And you know what the second most used page on a website is?
What?
Your About Us page. I'm going to go to yours. Now, the About Us, I always say, is still about them, because when someone clicks to the About Us page, they want to know why you're best for them, right? And this is an awesome place to be putting YouTube videos, because then of customer story, it's like,
right here. I mean, I learned that from you. Maybe it's not perfect, but look, we talk who our clients are. If you go to About Us, so we do have our team, but then we have our clients, and then we have a testimonial. Right there, there is a link to the testimonial page.
Yes. And so I did studies. Most people aren't going to click to a testimonials page. This is where you want to embed people talking about you and saying Adi was great. You know, this was our problem we had. Adi solved it in 30 days.
Right.
You know, we didn't know. And this is actually one of the best places to have quote unquote testimonials.
Yeah.
Because I looked years ago, we controlled a couple hundred websites. No one was clicking on the testimonials page because everyone thinks, oh, they're just going to talk about you. But the About Us is the second most used page. Now, embedding them throughout your YouTube videos, what it does is if they click onto your YouTube videos, you're now training the people that come, you're training YouTube that the people that come to the website and watch a lot of that video are your ideal clients. And now YouTube will start look for more people to watch those videos on YouTube. So it'll start recommending it too. So it's and as you get more traffic, as you get more view time, you can get those videos to rank higher in Google search results. So that's another great thing to do is now if you understand like what I call $100,000 keywords, a very specific consistency question that a client might have, like, you know, I don't know how to get them consistently filling out the reports for their sales team, you know, before our sales meeting. Very specific, but if they Google that, if you have a great video that people watch, it will show up in the Google search results too, leading them to your YouTube video. And what's really interesting about this from a YouTube traffic standpoint is Google's still the top search engine, but if a video is in the search results, our eyes go straight to it, and it's much more likely to get clicked than almost anything else. So these are just simple ways of people that are already your prospects to watch your YouTube videos while they're lurking around.
Fascinating. Any other tips you can give our listeners? This is very hands-on, and you can see that, you know, our listeners can see that you are the expert here. So any other tips or tricks that you can give us?
So another one is most people drive, like they write an article, they drive traffic, they email to their website. Send people to your YouTube channel. People are going to only they might read an article for a few seconds and skim your website, but people don't want to be on websites anymore. So, you know, send people to your YouTube channel, have specific playlists for them. If you have a specific category of people you work with, manufacturers or
professional services,
lawyers, systems for lawyers, have a playlist for them. And send people to that playlist, like just regularly send them, because they will peruse. And also what happens is you go to your home and now YouTube's recommending other videos. Like it's actually recommending my video.
Good.
And you know, so and other videos, you know, obviously I like Marvel and other stuff on here, but you know, you can see that this is a way to drive more YouTube traffic. So it's YouTube and email, YouTube and your website, YouTube and your online reputation. And we start with the fish in the barrel strategy. These are your potential clients. Now you get to spend more time with them. And that's if you go to videocasestory.com/ADI, I have a whole calculator there. On average, a business can land 2 to 3 more clients, but also they come in pre-sold every year with this YouTube strategy.
Those are results that definitely a lot of entrepreneurs want. So give us again, where to go.
Videocasestory.com/Adi. It'll ask you 3 or 4 questions. It'll show you 3 or 4 spots that you should have great videos. It'll tell you about the core 4. And then when you get that, if you fill it out all the way, it'll calculate how much money you can make. And I will send you some other videos. I'll send you the full fish in the barrel worksheet with where all the places you're going to go. We'll send you the core 4 videos that you need to be making. And if you email me back and say, hey, I want the workshop for free, because we charge for a fish in the barrel workshop. It's an hour workshop. I'll send you the workshop for free if you email me back.
And that is so generous. Okay, our viewers, listeners, you just saw a demonstration of how competent Ian is and how much he understands YouTube and what to do. So definitely go to that calculator, do the exercise, see how much more income you can make, how much more revenue you can generate by using Ian's strategies, and then take advantage of it and get the course, get the workshop for free. It's an hour workshop, and you will learn new strategies and make sure that you contact Ian and talk to him. So Ian, it's been such a pleasure having you on this podcast, and thank you for sharing all this information.
Adi, my pleasure. It's always great to see you. Hopefully I see you in person again soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the System Simplified podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.